Hey friends, welcome back to Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard here today as the Edmonton Oilers, they come down the QE2 ready for what will be the second rookie game against the Calgary Flames in our little series here to open up the year. Obviously for the Oilers, not the result you might have wanted in game 1, a 6-5 loss, a troublesome score there in the third period when it was 6-2. The valiant effort to fight back was absolutely amazing. But that said, the Oilers, well, they're going to have to do a little bit better of a job here in game number 2. Now, again, the score doesn't matter, all that doesn't matter. What does matter is the guys that shine, the guys that seem to have it put together versus the guys that, are either a few years off or just aren't going to make it. And then as well, you've got a situation where with some of these guys headed to Bakersfield this year, you want to see how head coach Colin Chalk of the Edmonton Oilers rookies is using the team. So we'll get that and more going here in a moment. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. Would love to have you aboard as a regular viewer. And again, it's free and easy to do, so I might recommend to do that. So again, we understand coming out of last game that Matt Savoy was exactly as promised. As the game wore on, Matt Savoy shone more and more. Now the big thing is too, we talked yesterday about Connor Clattenburg and just how amazing of an impact he had in that game, following up what was an impactful rookie and preseason last year for the Edmonton Oilers. So Clattenburg with a bright future. Many questioned why I wasn't talking about Marhala, and Marhala is very simple here. You know what? One great game in a rookie game isn't going to change the depth chart needle. Although Marhala, if he follows it up with another impactful game here against the Calgary Flames rookies, he will be a guy to keep a very close eye on in training camp, just simply as he's scheduled to go to the Bakersfield Condors from everything I can figure out. Just simply how much is Colin Chalk going to be able to squeeze out of him in the next game or two, as the Oilers will be back in Calgary on Sunday next week for the first game of the preseason. Now, Josh Szymanski as well, I do want to talk about him a little bit just simply because Josh Szymanski was such an impactful piece to me coming into the Oilers lineup last game, centering the top line. And you might ask, what exactly did he do? Well, what exactly he did for me that I found so impactful was he didn't get pushed around, right? I think there's so many times you see a European player come over and they get pushed around because they're not used to the physicality of the NHL game. And what we saw instead was Szymanski, every time he got into a little bit of a dust up, he kind of fought back, he kind of stood his ground, he kind of did whatever the situation dictated, which was nice to see. Because again, if you know anything about Josh Szymanski, he's a bigger frame, bigger guy, and kind of built similar to Leon Draisaitl in some regards, and really a guy that could be impactful in a lesser Leon Draisaitl type role in the bottom six longer term for the Edmonton Oilers, right? You got to think here, the Oilers with Szymanski coming over from Germany, drafting David Lewandowski in the, is it David Lewandowski? I think so. In the draft there earlier this year. It's simple. The Oilers, quite honestly, have an ability, as long as they keep Connor, to possibly one day be running a 3 German center bottom 9, quite honestly. So that could be interesting to see. Anyway, I confused myself, and now I got to move on because I'm going to embarrass myself if I keep going anymore. We do need to talk about Ike Howard. I'm not actually sure anymore because Bob Stauffer did a whole interview with him this week calling him Isaac. So I don't know if he's softened his stance on the Ike Howard thing, whatever the case might be. Maybe I missed something major here over the course of the summer since acquiring him. Don't really care because either way, he is going to be an impactful player and we'll get that figured. What we need to see though tonight is that he is an impactful player for the Oilers, because it was not an impactful game from Mike Howard in game 1. Now again, like I said at the end, talking with some folks at Rogers Place, if Matt Savoy wants to have a stellar game 1 and Ike Howard wants to have a stellar game 2, I'm all fine with that. Again, they don't need to apply themselves too heavily here in these rookie games to make the NHL roster. They need to have a good preseason. So, just one game each kind of shining and going out there and doing things for sure would be great. That said, I think everybody nailed it on the head saying that Ike Howard needs to be a little bit more assertive on the puck after game one, because there was a couple of plays there again. You saw the smaller frame get knocked off the puck. That's to say the Calgary Flames rookies in game one were a massive group, but Ike Howard desperately needs to just, push through, kind of like Matt Savoy did as that game wore on, and let his skills shine, because he had a couple of good shots there. I think he had one that grazed the crossbar at one point in the third period, if puck's flying at my head serve correct. So that would say Bo Akey. Bo Akey, the last guy on the list. Again, you're wondering why I'm picking all the top guys on the Oilers roster, because those are the guys that really matter at the end of the day. And for Bo Akey, what I'll tell you is coming pro this year and a potential big season in Bakersfield if he doesn't get hurt. A big rookie game here just to kind of pump up the excitement. We know how excited we got about Bo Akey 2 years ago. I love to see the Oilers get very excited about Bo Akey starting tonight, and then through the preseason as he gets, like he said, that potential game in the NHL this year. And just to see him kind of assert himself as well against the Flames rookies wouldn't be bad at all. Not to say he was terrible in game one. That's not what I'm saying. Just again, follow up with a better performance tonight. So things to watch for from an Edmonton Oilers fan perspective, as somebody who's going to be in the building tonight against the Calgary Flames. Overall chippiness. Again, we saw a lot of extra shots, like just slashes, rub outs with the sticks in the corners and stuff after the play had kind of went away or missed that corner kind of deal. So overall chippiness is definitely something I'm going to look for. We had 3 fights in the game there on Friday night, and honestly, if the Oilers want to show up and just kind of take it to task against the Calgary Flames again, I'm going to like that, because again, we want some guys with some different elements. Clattenburg, I doubt he has the green light to fight tonight, but again, you never know when a situation dictates those gloves come flying off and you got to throw some hands. So not going to rule it out. The Oilers goaltending. Now again, the goaltending, we know that Samuel Janssen coming over for his first foray into the Oilers net as far as I can remember. I don't know if he was in there at all for the Oilers rookies last year. I don't think he was. So, and then the young kid there from Moose Jaw as well, Benini, I think, coming in for the Oilers in the second half of that game. So, that's kind of where, again, the goaltending, I think tonight is Day and Unger, if I have it correct. So we're looking to see if it's going to be a little bit more of a, I don't know if pro is the right term for it, or if just more of a steady presence back there for the Oilers maybe would be the right term for it. Now, again, as well, like I said, this is Colin Chalk's team this weekend, and as well, Colin Chalk will likely have the team that comes down to Calgary next weekend, right? The Oilers will have a team up in Edmonton. The Oilers will have a team down in Calgary on Sunday next week for a split squad against the Flames. Colin Chalk likely to be the guy on the road. So what I would figure, at least for the Oilers, is that Colin Chalk's adjustments as the game goes on will be a key watch from an Oilers fan perspective as we lead into the final, especially in the back half of the game, the final 30 minutes of this rookie camp stuff, and we get into figuring out maybe who Colin Chalk's going to bring to Calgary with him, who he might be assigned, and how guys are going to start getting opportunities to shine for the Edmonton Oilers. And then there's a reason that that final line's in bigger letters is recovering from mistakes. What I said to a couple of people I went to the game with there on Friday night up at Rogers Place is the Oilers, these rookie games aren't about winning or losing. These Oilers games aren't about who makes less mistakes. They're about who does the best possible job recovering and fixing their mistakes as the game goes on. And I think you saw a couple of instances there where the Oilers made some bad plays about 10 feet in front of their net. It ended up in behind the net most times. And the Oilers, I'd say 5 out of 7 times that I noticed that were able to recover from the mistakes. But the pucks that got behind the net on the Oilers, defense, there was a couple of mistakes that ended up in the back of the net as well. So not only are we talking in-game today, not only are we talking minute by minute as mistakes get made, but also going from last game, learning from those mistakes and trying to clean it up a little bit to play a more concerted defensive game, and as well playing a little bit better offensively from the get-go, right? The Oilers did a lot of things right in those last 10 minutes against the Flames rookies in their defensive zone. So hopefully the Oilers can find a way to, play that style of hockey the whole 60 minutes. I know there might be some proponents that say that just won't happen, but again, I would love to see it. So friends, thank you so much for being aboard here today on Dolynny TV. I didn't expect to talk for 10 minutes. I didn't expect to have that much to talk about, quite honestly. But glad to have you aboard, and we will chat a little later. We'll see what highlights I can grab from the Flames and Oilers rookie game today down at the Saddledome. For right now, though, I'm up on out of here.